Hey everybody, I'm here. It is Labor Day, but we are in the studio today. Why? I don't know. No, we're here because we do normally take federal holidays off, but we're off all of next week. It's the first sort of like full break for a while because of the virus. So since we're going to be off all of next week, save maybe the occasional live stream I might pop into from any number of undisclosed locations around the world. We will be off from the standpoint of the podcast and the TV show and the radio show next week. But we are close to hearing from Donald Trump just momentarily, scheduled for the top of the hour. And I think it's going to be very, very powerful and very, very interesting. So we will be looking at that at the top of the hour, and I have things to discuss in between now and then. We did do a show today. Yeah, so we don't have just a stream today, but there's also a new podcast episode. It's already been filmed, and it is en route. So that'll be published probably 3 p.m. Eastern, the way it always is. I see a super chat from Amy saying, Pence is speaking. Peace out. Yeah, Pence is speaking, but we're not carrying that. I mean, we could look at it briefly. Oh, I guess they're both scheduled for the same time. That's funny. In any case, we're focused in on the Trump speech. We will look at polling. We will look at a lot of different things. Just as a reminder, we do still have a pandemic going on. I know that some people are pretending that there isn't one. But another 31,000 cases yesterday in the United States. We've now reflattened the curve, half of the flattening we did before, at which point we decided to open back up and get back up to 75,000 cases a day. So, still no vaccine and still no particularly effective treatment. We've talked a lot about expected vaccine announcements over the next probably, I'm still thinking it's going to be around October 15th. There will be the announcement of a vaccine, and then we will see what people actually fall for and don't fall for. So we will see about that. Okay, Matthew sends a super chat saying streaming very strongly. Chakoseki says via super chat, in his first anti-super soldier act, who do you think Trump is going to arrest first? The Gazpacho Gestapo or the Progresso Proletariat? Probably the Gazpacho Gestapo would be my guess. Yeah. Over on Twitch, where we now very brightly display the number of Twitch subscribers, which you will notice dropped by about 300 since last week because everything is on a rolling month basis. Bit101 has subscribed with Prime and says, on a more positive note, subscription counts are also increasing. Yeah, well, I guess not. So we're down 300 from last week. But that's interesting. But yes, things are happening and we're continuing to build. By the way, I don't know how this happened. Usually weekends are very slow for the David Pakman Show YouTube channel. Somehow over the weekend, we had a couple of YouTube clips hit. One got over 300,000 views. I don't remember the other one, maybe 250. And we are now slated to hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube in only 17 days. Can you imagine? Now scheduled for September 25th. It wouldn't be crazy if we actually hit 1 million during the vacation. And if we do, don't worry. I have all sorts of content planned for you if that happens. I showed you some of it last week. Maybe I will show you. Hold on. Here's something I can show you that you might like. Hold on a second. Yeah, here it is. We are going to have a video. Where is it? There we go. We are going to have a compilation video where we are going to hear from all sorts of different people who have been guests on the show and have had different roles on the show. And I've been previewing some of the people who have been speaking. Like last week, I showed you Ben Dixon's clip. Here is former producer Louis Motamedi delivering a message of peace and love. And this is going to be part of our compilation, which we will very powerfully release when we hit 1 million. Take a look. There is former producer Louis getting David, all set up.
Congratulations, 1 million subscribers. That's such a big number. Monumental achievement. I'm happy for you. Think about that, 1 million. Think about all the effort it takes, all that subscribing. I think it would be neat to kind of get into that. So that's like 1 million subscribers. Let's say it takes half a second to hit that subscribe button. That's 500,000 seconds. And now we're talking.
Lewis taking a math approach in his message.
That's like 8,333 minutes. And we'll do the math here. That's, that's about 138.8 hours. Well, 1 million has a nice ring to it.
There you go. So a very, very powerful message from Lewis there, as you can see. And all sorts of different people. Hassan Piker has delivered a message to me. Stephen, Kenneth, Destiny, Benel II has delivered a message to me. A former NFL football player has delivered a message to me. We've heard from all sorts of people. Anyway, we're putting all of this together, and it's going to be a really nice compilation video, which we will publish when we get to 1 million, but we are not there yet. We are currently at 987. So just about 12,000 and change to go. Okay, other super chats coming in. Actually, wait, I have some new members to thank. Tyson Smith kicking us off with the first membership today at joinpacman.com. Thanks, Tyson. I appreciate that. Hope I'll have other people to thank. We are keeping an eye on a couple of different streams, anticipating Donald Trump at the top of the hour. Okay, super chats coming in. God says, hey, David, longtime fan from Dubai. When do you take calls? I'm always late to the party. Wednesday, 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. Wednesday, 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. JR says, he's going to tout job numbers in the economy, but he hasn't done anything to earn the credit. He's played golf, and on top of that, he's played golf. All he loves to do is play with little balls. JHWH says, still shocked by the RNC. Next level propaganda. American patriotism is weird as it is, but the imagery and speeches put North Korea to shame. Well said. Lauren says, did you see the Trump boat train in Austin that ended up with multiple boats sinking? Wondering if it was karma. Yeah, a bunch of boats sunk, and it was wild. Really just stupid. Leica says, when Sam Cedar loses the 1 million subscribers competition to you, will you send him Blue Chew to help him get his confidence back? Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Sam Cedar actually delivered a message for the 1 million subs compilation, which I think people will find pretty interesting. Over on Twitch, we have a lot happening. We have a level 2 hype train in progress. Now a level 3 hype train. Tool Moo has subscribed and says, heck yes, keep up the great work. A Little Punch Drunk has subscribed. Jerry Mandering has subscribed. Annie Greenfield, Skilloser, Lillian So, and Malfunction 99, as well as CyberX, or maybe that's Cyber 9. Bit 101, I already mentioned. Very good. Love it. Love what's going on there. Okay. Han Jabay. Come on, guys. Han Jabay says, Davey, what will the tone of your video be about Trump's inevitable passing? Celebratory, solemn, just the facts? Will you condemn a dead man? Love you. I don't wish for nor take pleasure in anyone's death. The world can be better off without someone around, without taking pleasure in anyone's death. I think that's important for all of us to remember as we wait for Donald Trump. Nicholas D. Pasquale says, windmills do not give you cancer. Invest in renewables, investinhumans.co. Love the show, David. Okay. Dominic Richardson says, it's pretty Orwellian how Trump says all the polls are fake and then at the same time falsely says Biden is plunging in the same polls. Right. The polls don't exist and they are fake. The sources for Trump saying the military are losers are fake, and yet they are people who aren't telling the truth. Wait a second. Hold on. The sources don't exist, but they're lying. Sorry? But I don't know. It's very weird. It doesn't really make sense. Thanks to Nathan Shocker, who is new member number 2 today at joinpacman.com. Very much appreciate that. I do have memes. I don't know if anybody's interested in some memes, but I do have them. Let's see here. Other memes. This is a meme about voting, I guess. Vote or die. What does that even mean? What you think it means, bitch. And as you can see, that's me. That's producer Pat. And that's former producer Lewis with sunglasses, as well as two other gentlemen. Okay, I don't really get this one, but we are looking at other memes. Also, I think people are going to like this. This is really good. Joseph Woodward is a music creator on SoundCloud, and he put together an original plasma track, which this is so layer one of the meme is Trump and convalescent plasma. Layer 2 is this song, and then I'm going to tell you layer 3 in a second. Okay, this is lo-fi plasma. Take a listen.
Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. Convalescent plasma, strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. Convalescent plasma is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation Convalescent. Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. We provided $48 million to fund the Mayo Clinic study that tested the...
Okay, anyway, so that's layer 2. Layer 3 of this truly historic meme is that I've asked Joe to send me a version of this track with no drums. I'm going to play the drum track, okay? So once I have one cable I need to get my e-drums set up. I am going to be adding the drum track myself and filming it. So the third layer of this, it's sort of these are sort of like convalescent memes, if I may. The third layer of this meme is going to be that I will be performing the drum track, and I may have a different interpretation in terms of the percussion than Joe had. We'll listen to just a few more seconds.
Efficacy of convalescent plasma. The virus. Convalescent plasma. This is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation.
Yeah.
Convalescent plasma.
So that's a beautiful, beautiful track, and we are going to be looking at that very, very powerfully once I have a chance to add the drum track to it. So everybody stand by for that. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. Thanks to Frank Drugsma, who is new member number 3 today at joinpacman.com. Appreciate the support very, very much. Also, thanks to Perturabo. We have 40 seconds left to hit a level 5 hype train right now. We've not hit level 5 on Twitch for a couple of weeks. We have 30 seconds to go. Blaze King gets us a little closer. Perturabo, Rotkreutz, Blissful Terror has signed up. Circle Hair Guy, Pre, A Little Punch Drunk, I think I already mentioned. We have 10 seconds left to get to a level 5 hype train. Oh, I don't know if we're going to do it. I think this may be as far as it goes. Yep, we didn't make it. We got to level 4. Fair enough. Level 4 is not bad. Other super chats continuing to come in. Where did I leave off? Leica says, always enjoy your content. Keep up the great work. Aloha from Maui. Appreciate that. Shaner says, my family's passing around a post that America's being gaslighted. Is it gaslighted or gaslit by the media, and Trump is sent by God? Oh, the sad irony. Benjamin Spiegel says, Donald Trump doesn't know a light up the dark sketchers from a well-lit Creenus. Can't vote with him, can't vote without him. Man, I don't know what that means. Erythropathac says, Trump loves Kung Flu tea. Okay. Lou Sassel. Okay, that one's not bad. That's actually clever. Natasha Bertrand announced on Twitter the other day, You slid into her DMs asking if she wants to see photos of your 10-inch zucchini. Is that real? My zooks and cukes are dead. Sorry, I froze there. My zooks and cukes are dead. Yep, something happened. I believe that they got diseased. That's with like 5 Z's. Diseased. And they died. My cukes died. My zooks died. What I've got going now basically are tomatoes and peppers are beautifully coming in every day. But cukes and zooks died. I did try to do something convalescent with them and it just didn't work. So I've got herbs. Mint is out of control. But my peppers and tomatoes are really what's doing the best right now. What can you do? You know, you do what you can. I'm working. It was only my 2nd year sort of like really gardening. Okay. Easy Meacham says, hey, David, remember a few lifetimes ago when Ivanka got patents for voting machines? How do you follow up or track something like that? I don't remember that, actually. I'd have to review that. Matt Carlio says, Pac-Man on the Tony Stark sarcasm level today. Please keep us laughing. Chakaseki says, in General Mattis's own words, the only military member below disrespected is Colonel Sanders. That's not bad. Trump's penchant for KFC. I like that. I might steal that and turn that into a tweet, Chakaseki. I really should hire Chakaseki to write for me because he or she is very clever. Very, very clever. Dustin Brown says, am just coming back to following politics after it had me feeling pretty hopeless. Appreciate the content and remember to take care of yourself, David. Yes, indeed. We will be off next week. Boom. Off. Just off next week. And I think it's going to be a really, really good thing. Unfortunately, we may hit our 1 million subscribers during the vacation. But what can you do? If it happens, it happens, you know? Not too much we can do about that. Thanks to Andrew Jaboy and Kip Velcrono, who have subscribed with Twitch Prime. We are standing by for Donald Trump. Okay, I did have a few other things. Okay, let me do... Yeah, I'm going to do just a few minutes of this. So Kyle, who did the original lo-fi convalescent plasma video, has also given me a submission for 1 million subs. So I'm going to play a little bit of this for you. This is pretty involved, and I don't want to release all of it into the wild until we actually hit 1 million. But just to give you a sense of the amount of content that we're putting together, really, I mean, I didn't do this. Kyle did it. This is going to be a good one once we hit 1 million. I think you're going to like it.
I am contemplating some possible litigation around this clip that we're about to see.
We have reached 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. The David Pakman Show surpassed the 200,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. 500,000 subscribers. 600,000 subscribers. 700,000 subscribers on YouTube yesterday. As many of you know, but as many of you don't know, this program is on YouTube.
Convalescent plasma.
Thank you to our YouTube subscribers who now number more than 750,000. 800,000 subscribers. That's an 8 followed by 5 zeros. That's an 8 followed by 5 zeros. The David Pakman Show YouTube channel has achieved and surpassed 900,000 subscribers. In fact, I think we now are probably closer to 901. I went back and looked at the statistics for our first month on YouTube. In September of 2009, we had 711 views total, and we had 721 views. 777 views. 720. Okay, that, I don't know why that is. I think what happens is YouTube must adjust their statistics in retrospectively by small numbers, because I'm sure I was giving the right numbers at the time. 1 views and 4 subscribers. We had 4 subscribers. I don't mean that we gained 4 subscribers a day. 4 subscribers, maybe after it was 10. I struggle to remember. We had 4 subscribers. And 4 subscribers, 3 of which were probably accounts my mom made, okay? It's some really interesting numbers. And in our first month on YouTube, we had 30 subscribers. Those are the right numbers.
1 million
Subscribers. This actually isn't crazy.
It is quite an accomplishment for us. I mean, our YouTube channel started so small back in 2009.
Thanks to your support. And I'm talking about the trolls as well. I'm thanking the trolls as well. It was alleged that I established sort of a race against Sam Cedar to 1 million subscribers.
I smell bots. I smell bots. So, look, here it is right now. We'll put this video up. Look, folks, Ronald Reagan has just informed me that David Pakman has taken a lead in our race to get to 1 million subscribers. And I am making a personal appeal to you right now. Hit the subscribe button. It's not necessarily where I'm pointing to. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's down here or over there. But hit the subscribe button. Don't let David Pakman steal our valor.
If we can automate a lot of these tasks that some would consider maybe mindless, some would consider low brain activity tasks, somehow bots that I have presumably used or paid for, are boosting our YouTube subscriber numbers.
This is a little bit of a problem.
Pounding that subscribe button.
Turning that subscribe button.
Dremeling the subscribe button. You know,
All of the battle of all this stuff.
we are using bots. The growth curve has been accelerated. We are using bots. My thought is, I don't know that we should be drastically changing what we're doing in order to get to 1 million subscribers. That's an amazing goal. Based on the recent subscriber trends, you could have 1 million subscribers and no views, and that's where our focus continues to be. Right. Subscribe to me without really calling for it. Right. I would never say that. And why would you? It's not like voting where you can only vote once. You can vote for everybody. Okay. I just don't even understand what's happening right now. So this, just as a heads up, this is all fake. It's all a joke. The only serious part is, let's get to 1 million.
And finally, I ask the leaders of the region, political and religious, Israeli and Palestinian, Jewish and Christian and Muslim, to join us in the noble quest for lasting peace. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Israel. God bless the Palestinians. And God bless the United States. The United States.
All right, so there's about another 40 seconds there, which I am going to keep private for now, because that is going to be debuting when we actually hit 1 million subscribers. So we have a lot planned is the point. We're taking this seriously. We're looking forward to thanking a lot of different people. Speaking of which, Lori Green is new member number 4 on my website, and Sebastian Orca is new member number 5 today at joinpacman.com. I appreciate that. Come on in, grab a membership. Let's look at some messages coming in. This is a perfect time to send a super chat. It will pop up on the bottom left of your window over there. A few super chats coming in. Oh no, I don't really have any. John Mannion sent a super chat with no message. Oh, this is sad. And Dan Values said, CNRU did it, not Trump. Man, that's sad. I thought I had more super chats to read, but okay. Some of them are going to come in. I'm sure, I'm positive that super chats are going to come in very strongly. I want to say thanks over on Twitch to Soup Can Sam for subscribing with Prime, as well as Logbotche, I don't know, as well as Justin Andrew Watson. And okay, I appreciate all of that. Thank you so much. People want the Plasma song again. I don't think so. Let's wait until I add drums to the track, but we will have plenty of opportunities for that. Okay, what else did I have? People asking about Venezuela. Yeah, I don't know that that's really the issue today. Renholder says, QAnon makes me fear for the future of this world. I understand that. Does anybody know if we have any streams that are live in the room? Fox News is not, and the White House is not. But if we had a stream that was live in the room, I would gladly switch to it. Let's see here. What can we find? Is The Hill Trump live? Maybe The Hill is live. Take a look. They are not live. Washington Post Trump live? No. Yeah, Right Side Media I'm not so sure about. I'd rather something a little more respectable. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. Somebody let me know if there is any stream that's live. Super chats continue to come in. James Anktil says, David, how can we vote for Democrats after seeing this Jummy David? Okay, I'm not going to click on stuff during the stream. Nicholas Silva says, David, maybe hitting 1 million subscribers warrants the OnlyFans that possibly is not immoral or illegal that everyone is demanding. I just don't know about this OnlyFans thing. I know a lot of people ask me about when am I going to have an OnlyFans? Am I going to have an OnlyFans? I have a Cameo, and that's probably right. It's probably more on brand for me. Don Keedix says, did you get your teeth whitened? They look way brighter. No, I got a haircut though. It is conceivable that my hair was so extended that it was blocking the light to my teeth. But no, I did not get a teeth whitening. Not that I'm against it. The few times I've tried it, my teeth get too sensitive. It wasn't a good experience for me. Tim Carlson says it's like having an intellectual toothache listening to Trump. Very well said. Chakoseki, very much focused on soup, says first they came for the chowder, then they came for the bisque, then they came for the borscht. When they came for me, there was no soup left. There would be no greater tragedy than them coming for the borscht. Borscht is one of my favorite soups. Those of you who are familiar with my Semitic background probably would not be surprised to hear that. But borscht is a national treasure, really a national treasure. Thanks to Susanna Coons, who is new member number 6 today at joinpacman.com. I appreciate that. I Am Gene asks, how many of my subscribers do I attribute to Sam Cedar's background inspiration? Probably 3. 3 of the million, I would say. CS says The Hill is live. Okay, let's look for The Hill. The Hill live. Ah, very nice. Beautiful. The Hill has gone live, and this will give us a sense of how long we likely have until the start of this very powerful event. Oh, Trump's doing an outdoor thing. This is different. All right, very good. I'm glad to have a little bit of a different background. Thanks to Political Puppy for the 9-month subscription over on Twitch. No to OnlyFans. We only want your information marinated brain. I've been marinating ideas upstairs for a while, and I will soon have something to present to you. Let's see here. Reed Larson says, hey, David, how long after Trump is out do you think you will be using bigly, strongly, etc.? That's a good question. I don't know. Not that long. Not that long, I would say. Darren says, do you think Trump has affected your mannerisms? Only as a joke. Only as a joke. Dino Sachs DMR says, David Donato here from the UK. Watching Trump's America, the movie Idiocracy, could actually become a reality. Very much so. Very much so. Lisa Kleinwart says, I am very grateful for your commentary. Makes listening to Trump more bearable. Strongly grateful. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Xneponfire says, let's spit out the orange Trump gum November 3rd. Thanks, Ted, for the subscription. Karen Saunders says, I wouldn't even be slightly surprised if Trump's vaccine starts the zombie apocalypse. So I don't want to get ahead of my own show. Much like Kaylee doesn't want to get ahead of Trump, I don't want to get ahead of my own show. But I have a clip coming out later today about how perfectly Kamala Harris answered a question about will she trust Trump's vaccine if it comes out in October. And she brilliantly pointed out, this is not about vaccines. This is about we've learned not to trust anything on Trump's say-so. And what's so important about this is that if people who accept the science of vaccines start saying you wouldn't trust a Trump vaccine, you have to be really careful not to fall into this possible anti-vaxxer stuff. The issue is not the vaccine. The issue is, do we trust Trump that it's ready? Because Trump lies all the time. And Kamala, I do a full breakdown. I mean, she really put out a clinic. She put on a clinic of how to be interviewed while answering questions, but taking control of the framing of those questions. Because there's two things you very often see when politicians are interviewed. One is they just don't answer the question at all. Trump never answers the actual question. The other side of it is answering the question, but not correcting the framing. And Kamala Harris does both in this very interesting interview with CNN's Dana Bash over the weekend. And I review some of the clips on a YouTube clip that we'll be publishing today, podcast, TV show, radio show, etc. Okay, please consider yourselves invited and consider doing me a favor, okay? This is a program where we do all this different stuff, and we have employees and we have health care for employees and, all this different stuff. It's mostly funded by memberships on my website. So if you're suffering from the economic virus that is spreading thanks to the mishandling of the actual virus, I don't want anybody's last dollar. I don't want anybody's last $2, but I will ask for your support if you are okay financially and value what we do. Head over to joinpacman.com. Grab yourself a membership. We have a coupon code right above my head, 2020 now, which will just chop 66% off of the price of a membership. This is not a lot of money. We're talking $2 a month or $1.80 if you pay for the entire year. I will thank you profusely. And we've had our issues with YouTube funding. We've had all of these different issues. The website membership is steady. It goes directly to us. There's no middlemen. There's no middle women. There's no middle people. And I will thank everybody who signs up. And it really does make a difference. So thanks to Roseanne Giambro, who is new member number 7 today. That's a great person, Roseanne. Joe Longfellow, great guy. New member number 8 today. Who else do I have? Dana Mills, love it. New member number 9 today. I will continue thanking people and love it. Love it when people sign up. Remember, it's also September over on Twitch. And I've never known anyone to turn away a nice Twitch subscription. Okay, let's get back to your comments because that's really why we're here. Otherwise, it would just be me talking to the wall. Peter Milson says, nothing. Okay, thanks for the super chat. Where did that go? JF Gamby says, hi from France, David, one of my favorite countries. Anything we can do here to help eject Trump? No meddling into the election meant, though. What you can do in France, JF, is convince someone to allow me in. I don't even need all Americans allowed in. Half the country hates France, as you know. They think France is a problem. I love France. I would love to just hide out in France until the pandemic is over. So try to work on getting me into France. I would love that. Ryan Fulton says, do you prefer books or audiobooks? I have never listened to an audiobook. I don't even have Kindle. I have physical books. I carry around these physical books. It's so antiquated, but I like just getting off of all screens. There's something about the tactile nature of the book, the smell of the book, which allows me to, I don't know, something. So I am still on physical books, as crazy as that is. I know it's insane, but I am still on physical books. Did they just close the door? I guess they're closing it in advance of opening the door. Okay. The only time I will sometimes do a condensed version is I will do the Blinkist sort of like PowerPoints where you can page through a summary of a nonfiction book. I will sometimes do that. Sabrina Zafar says, visiting Northampton for the first time from Boston. Any recommendations? Yes, Sabrina, if you're visiting Northampton, here's what you have to do. Go to Mosaic Cafe, get yourself the Mosaic salad with grilled chicken. Beautiful. Leave Mosaic Cafe. Go to Familiars, which is an old train car turned cafe, and get yourself a cappuccino. Tell Danny I say hello. And then once you're done with that, this is all safe, socially distant, okay? It's all outdoors. Then, well, after that, then what? Listen, there's so many great places. Amanu's Cafe, Highbrow for pizza, Kisara in East Hampton if you can make it over for sushi. If you stay in Northampton, go to Moshi Moshi for sushi. Great place. I wish, there's some places that are sort of closed, but yes, there's endless recommendations in Northampton. Very, very important ones. Chris says, thank you, David. Keep it going with a huge $49.99 super chat. Really appreciate that. Thanks, Chris. And on that note, I want to make sure I'm not falling behind on Twitch thank yous. Naisha Nart has subscribed with Prime. Dolly Madison says, keep up the good work and reasoned analysis. Pakazor says, love your show. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And Morph1x3 has also subscribed with Twitch Prime. Let's see if anybody else has gone live yet. Fox News not live, the White House not live, but The Hill is live, so we'll stick with this. It looks like we're very close to the start. If we were able to start within 15 minutes of the start time, I think it would be really great. Vidar Moores says, what are your thoughts on third parties in general? I'm in favor of them. Do you think we'll get out of the duopoly? In order to get out of the duopoly, we need to fix campaign finance and fix first past the post voting. Those are the two things that must be fixed. A few other thank yous for people who have signed up on my website, which I really appreciate. Thanks to Michael Jones, who's new member number 10 today. Kathleen Raddick is new member number 11. Jake Fournier is new member number 12. Christopher Barber is number 13. Matthew Bedford is number 14. Greg Perlman is number 15. Bjorn Tulin is number 16. And Annika Simmons is new member number 17. That was weird. Where did that come from? I've got a couple more, and I will get back to those thank yous very soon. Rune has subscribed over on YouTube. Steven says, what's the over-under on hoax utterances this briefing related to trashing vets? Will it even be brought up? It will be brought up. I expect Trump to use the word hoax 4 times. I would set the over-under at 4. That seems reasonable. Olivia's Bubble says, I'm really scared about what's going to happen next in the U.S. Things are completely out of control, and it's disgraceful. I think we really do need to apply the teachings of the great Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca. I don't know if it's pronounced Epictetus or Epictetus, but they very astutely divided. They talked about the sphere of control, the dichotomy of control, where the Stoics said there are things over which we have control and things over which we don't. That's a little bit oversimplified. The truth is there are things over which we have total control. Like, for example, what are my goals? That's my decision and my decision completely. I have total control over my goals. Things over which we have no control, like, will the sun come up tomorrow? I have no control over that. We should not concern ourselves with things totally beyond our control. But the devil is really in the details of those things over which we have some control. And when it comes to those, the great example is a tennis match. Do I have control over whether I win a tennis match or don't I? Well, I have control over whether I train to the best of my ability and effort. I have control over whether I try my hardest. I have control over whether I practice for months. I have control over whether I hire a teacher. Ultimately, I don't have control over whether I win. And that's the analogy to this election. So when we talk about, I understand the fear. We don't have control ultimately over the results. We can say, let's make every effort to get out the vote. Okay, We can't be disappointed if our goal is to make every effort to get out the vote, and we try. We can't be disappointed if we say, let's do everything we can to fight voter suppression. If there's still voter suppression, our goal cannot be to stop all of it because we can't control that. So my advice to people here is read, for example, William Irvine's book on Stoic philosophy. Understand what is really the trichotomy of control. There's a word for you. It's a real 5-head word. The trichotomy of control. And take that approach going into the election. I think it is far healthier. And I actually addressed this today on a segment that we will be publishing to YouTube. So that's a big rant. I apologize for the rant, but I think it's important. Dan Values says, free Nelson Mandela. Okay. Anita says, would you ever promote manscaping products you use? Well, I would promote manscaping products. I don't use any, but like we promote Blue Chew on the show and I don't use it. We're about to get an ad. That's weird. This is a live stream. Nobody else is live yet. This is really weird, guys. It's actually starting to get really weird. Anyway. Okay. Oh, some people are liking my haircut. Yeah, it actually took. It actually took for once. I had a couple haircuts that did not really take. I asked my hairdresser, stylist, I don't know the appropriate word, if she thinks I'm losing hair, because every time I look at it, I start to think, is this thing receding? And she very powerfully felt that I am not. That's the word from my hairdresser. So, you know. A user with just a bunch of numbers says, thoughts on Maria Kolesnikova's abduction. I don't have any particular thoughts about it, unfortunately. Owl Aquatic says, does the presidency require candidates to pass a drug? Why does it say ginger on the screen? That was weird. There was a subtitle that just said ginger. Is there audio here? That's weird. Maybe somebody in the background said the word ginger. Owl Aquatic says, does the presidency require candidates to pass a drug test? No. Do any political offices for that matter? I don't believe so. Sean Broderick has grabbed a YouTube membership. Shannon Bennis. Hey, Shannon. Great to see you. Shannon says, where did that go? Uh-oh, where did Shannon's message go? There it is. If Trump releases a vaccine, the two of the most esteemed and trusted orgs, CDC and FDA, will have compromised. Can they come back from that? So I'm not sure, Shannon, I understand exactly what you're saying, but let me tell you this. I don't trust anything Trump says. So just because Trump says a vaccine is safe doesn't mean it's safe. We have to go through the actual process that has been very well established in order to secure a safe vaccine. Thanks to Jonathan Powers, who's new member number 18 today. Big thank you to Teresa Wyshins, who's new member number 19. Mary Cerruti is new member number 20 on my website. Rose Webb is new member number 21. I know that there's a few more people to thank. I will get to everybody. Also, thanks to Oatboy, Dark Matter, The Dansky, El Pibe de Oro, who says they're from Norway, even though that sounds more like an Argentinian nickname, all of whom have signed up over on Twitch. Let's see. Obrero 13 says, ILWU Local 13 in the house, Wilmington, California. Okay. Fernando has signed up. Richard says, intriguingly, there is notably less negativity about you poor USians amongst my peers on this side of the pond. Stay strong, cousins. Thanks, Richard. Hope to get back to the UK as soon as it's safe. Soon Thomas says, people need to understand that Trump literally cannot afford to not be president. An honest accounting of Trump administration corruption would be too devastating for Republican politics. Be vigilant. Well said. Shlomo says, Shalom, David, just waiting for this disaster of a stream from the first orange American president. It will be bigly and sad. Yes, l'chaim, And great to see you, Shlomo. Tommy and Aiden have grabbed YouTube subscriptions. So has the Duchess. Insane Lane says, please do a piece on the Alaska loophole and the effect it's having on COVID in Canada. Keep up the good work. Well, they're really just doing commercial after commercial here. This is getting really weird. Really, really weird. Where is Trump? Very strange. Luke says, thanks for all you do, David. Appreciate it bigly. Thank you. Thank you. Anthony Skira says, thanks for being a calm voice. Other progressive voices get a little too excited and it raises my blood pressure. All right. Well, I appreciate that. If you are just joining us, just while we have time, a viewer of ours, Joseph Woodward, put together the Lo-Fi Plasma song. I'm sorry, Plasma. I almost pronounced it correctly there accidentally. This is the Lo-Fi Plasma song.
Today, I'm pleased
and I will be adding, he sent me a version without drums. I will be doing the drums on this song. But this is the version Joseph put together, Lo-Fi Plasma. It's just genius, guys. Listen to this.
Make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives.
Beautiful.
Convalescent strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. Convalescent is the only possible.
This is this. If we had a song of the summer, this would be it.
It's only made possible because of Operation Convalescent. Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. We provided $48 million to fund the Mayo Clinic study that tested the efficacy of convalescent the virus.
That is catchy, huh?
Convalescent.
Anyway, so I will be recording my track for that soon. I think I have certain cables I need coming in today from in the mail, which I'll be able to use and get that drum track recorded. I think people are going to love it. I think it really has a shot at a Grammy myself. Michael Foster sends a super chat and says, speaking of books and screens, have you seen the research indicating 5 hours of daily screen time in adolescence severely affects the ability to focus? Yeah, I've seen different research all pointing in that direction. Completely am on board with that. Mike says, what is up with the subtitles? No idea. Little Rock Star says, much love from our drummer family to you. Love your views and videos. I decided to subscribe today to support the great cause. Thank you. And I actually have a few other subscribers to thank. Jeanette Andre is a new patron and number 22 today. Laura Fisher is number 23. Klaus Wistet is a patron and number 24. 25 is Rian Cockrell. Michelle Brillhart is number 26. Angie Haynes is number 27. Wesley Bates is number 28. Claire Press is number 29. And, you know, as I like to say, let's go for 50. Let's go for 50 as we continue to wait here, bizarrely, for a very, very late Donald Trump. Jameson Shalpy says, thanks for all you do, David. Curious on your thoughts or knowledge about mindful practice and meditation. Yeah, of course. The primary book I would recommend to folks is Wherever You Go, There You Are by Jon Kabat-Zinn, sort of one of the great voices in the mindfulness field, discipline. I don't want to call it a movement. I think it's more of a discipline. I would start there. If you're interested in it, start with Jon Kabat-Zinn. And my views tend to be very much in line with his about it. Continuing to stand by for Donald Trump, Jeremy says, I know people out there are scared about the outcome of this election and how it goes down, but don't let fear lead to bad decisions. Peace. Well said. Well said. Gina says, hey, David, I binge watched your debates all weekend. Great, great stuff. Thanks for all you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate that. James Anktil says, hi, David, here's a $5 chat. Can you say the following as melodically as possible? Let me look at it first. Take a look. It's in a book. A reading rainbow, reading rainbow. Okay, I don't know. I don't know about that. Henrik Vanderland says, and I thought we have problems. Good job. Keep going. Greetings from Germany. Thank you, Henrik. Richard Hodgson says 2 pounds on witch hunt at 6 times. Okay, so I guess the sort of side bets are Trump uses the word hoax 4 times and witch hunt 6 times. Can I assign someone the task of keeping track of that? Let me do a few Twitch thank yous. A Jar of Salt has subscribed with Prime. El Jefe has subscribed for 14 months with the message, you make these bearable. Thank you for doing these. My pleasure. Super chats continuing to come in, but I skipped a few. Let me see here. Where did I leave off? Scrawly TV says, can I cameo you to ask a publisher for the next translation of a mystery series? P.S. Read Zaragoza. Okay, here's Trump. Let's see what's going on.
Thank you. Happy Labor Day. That was...
Oh, wait, we have a different feed. Okay, no, we don't want this one. Here we go. Sorry.
Really celebrate the American worker. We are in the midst of the fastest economic recovery in
Oh my God, this
U.S.
audio.
history. So we have a lot to be thankful for, including
Let's see if we can get a better feed.
labor union heads and other people. They're very happy with the way things are going. As you probably see, the numbers are terrific. So we called some people, wished them a very happy Labor Day, and they told us how they're doing. And
Everybody's
we
great.
really celebrate the American worker. We are in the midst of the fastest economic recovery in U.S. history. So we have a lot to be thankful for, including this really beautiful day. So I thought we'd do this outside as opposed to in your more normal place. The
What a
United
guy.
States experienced the smallest contraction of any major Western nation. You probably know that. You look around and see how we're doing compared to every other nation.
It's bad.
And our rise is spectacular. And we're
Easy to have a bigger rise when you have the biggest decline.
The U.S. economy added 1.4 million jobs last month. We've added a record-setting 10.6 million jobs since May. 10.6 million jobs since May. That's a record that is
Remember,
not...
the record is that 45 million filed new unemployment claims. He's saying we got 10 million of those back.
The National Budget Office was projecting unemployment over 10.5% through the end of 2020. So they thought 2020, and maybe it would be a lot longer than that. Some projections where you'd go through the entire year, and that includes a lot of months in the following year, 2021.
A lot.
Instead, the unemployment rate plunged, really to the surprise of many, all the way down to 8.4% in August, and that's the second largest single-month decline on record, and we have the first. We have both of them. So we have the two...
It's funny to talk only about the biggest increases and ignore that we've had the biggest decreases. It's very strange.
Seeing the fastest labor market recovery from an economic crisis in history, world history. By contrast, Biden presided over the worst, the weakest, and the slowest economic recovery since the Great Depression. It was...
Remember, of course, that job growth slowed when Obama and Biden left and Trump took over. Just facts.
Every other factor that you need. It was the weakest recovery. Under my leadership, next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country, I project. And some people are starting to agree. We have a V shape. It's probably a super V.
Super V.
And you see what's going on with the stock market, where it's, in certain cases, already setting records. The NASDAQ has set 17 records already. And this is as we're hopefully rounding the final turn in the pandemic. First, we'll end the pandemic under Operation Warp Speed. We've pioneered groundbreaking therapies, reducing the fatality rate 85% since April.
Man, this guy's alpha, huh? What a man.
Very often. They don't like to talk about that. So the fatality rate, 85%. Think of that since April. The United States has experienced among the lowest case fatality rates of any major country in the world. And we are an absolute leader in every way. Under my leadership, we'll produce a vaccine in record time. Biden and his very liberal running mate, the most liberal person in Congress, by the way, is not a competent person in my opinion.
She's not even the most liberal in the Senate, but the idea that she's the most liberal in Congress is laughable.
Should immediately apologize for the reckless anti-vaccine rhetoric that they...
I literally told you guys earlier, they are going to claim that Kamala's being anti-vaccine. All she said is she wouldn't trust a vaccine on Trump's say-so.
You'll have this incredible vaccine, and because of that fake rhetoric, it's a political rhetoric. That's all it is, just for politics. Because now
What's funny is Trump is more anti-vax than anybody that we've heard from recently.
Like nobody's ever seen before. This could have taken 2 or 3 years, and instead it's going to be done in a very short period of time. Could even have it during the month of October. So contrary to all of the lies, the vaccine, that they're politicalized. They'll say anything. And it's so dangerous for our country, what they say. But the vaccine will be very safe and very effective, and it'll be delivered very soon. You could have a very big surprise coming up. I'm sure you'll be very happy.
Oh, yeah, it's an October surprise. We know he's planning one.
The world will be happy. Next, we'll return to unprecedented prosperity through our pro-American policies. We'll pass new tax cuts to boost take-home pay. We're going to be cutting taxes very substantially. We get it back through growth.
Never
We had
happened.
Tremendous growth until we got hit with the China virus.
That's what he said last time.
We'll continue our historic regulatory reduction campaign. We've, as you know, in 3.5 years, we've cut more regulations than any other administration, no matter how long, no matter what period of time you're talking about. We'll enact fair trade deals, and we're working on 7 major fair trade deals right now. And when I say fair, fair to our country, because our country was ripped off by every nation. Friend, foe, didn't matter. Every nation was ripping us off at a level that it's
You might think the U.S. is one of the 3 superpowers. We're the victim globally, guys.
opportunity zones, and we will keep that going. It's been a tremendous program. I want to thank Senator Scott, South Carolina, for coming up with that whole concept, because he came up and I liked it right away, and it's really turned out to be a tremendous thing, especially for African Americans, Hispanic Americans. We'll continue to unleash American energy. We're number 1 in the world, and we're totally energy independent right now. And in 2021, we'll create 10 million jobs at least in the first 10 months. Joe Biden, the radical socialist Democrats,
Nothing socialist about Biden. You all know that.
Economy. If they got in, they would collapse it. You'll have a crash the likes of which you've never seen before. Your stocks, your 401ks. Remember, it's the people that own these massive listed companies.
Remember, guys, stocks do better under Democratic presidents. Unemployment is lower under Democratic presidents. GDP growth is higher under Democratic presidents. Job creation is higher under Democratic presidents. I don't know if we care about facts anymore, but those are the facts.
It will end everything, including growth. There won't be growth. There'll be total contraction. Biden's also pledged to demolish the U.S. energy industry and implement the same policies causing blackouts in California. He wants to have things lit up with wind. He'll have to talk to China, Russia, India, and lots of other countries, because they're not doing that. And if they're not doing it, it puts us at a tremendous economic disadvantage, and it doesn't work. You take a look at the blackouts in California. It's really rather amazing what's going on there. They've tried to go, and that's just with a small portion going that route. That doesn't work, and it can't fire up our big plants. If we're going to have this great industry that we've created, can't fire up our big plants.
Fire them up.
Biden's plan for the China virus is
Imagine in 20 coming out and being like, don't vote for the other guy. He likes wind power.
somebody to walk up, yes, sir, it's time to shut it down. He'd be laying off tens of millions of workers and causing countless deaths from suicide, substance abuse, depression, heart disease, and other very serious illnesses. Because when you do a shutdown, there's a problem on the other side. It's not just from the virus. You have a big problem with suicides, with losing your jobs, with all sorts of things. You just take a look. Depression is a massive problem.
What's worse, losing a job or dying of coronavirus? I don't know how they scale.
Substance abuse, alcohol, drugs. So we can't do that. And then we'd have to give up all the gains that I've been talking about over the last 3 months. What we have done is incredible. We're setting records all over the world, no matter where you go. Nobody has done what we've been able to do.
Good for
So
them.
we're setting records in jobs, we're setting records in numbers, and you're going to see some very big numbers. Third quarter numbers are coming out right before a very special day, November 3rd. So you have the numbers coming out, and they're, I think, going to be fantastic. I think they're going to be fantastic. The best numbers of all, if somebody doesn't come along and raise taxes, double, triple, quadruple your taxes, will be the numbers from...
How do you quadruple a 37% tax rate? Somebody do the math on that.
And I think it's going to be hard for even the media to disparage that number. Biden wants to surrender our country to the virus. He wants to surrender our families to the violent left-wing mob, and he wants to surrender our jobs to China, our jobs and our economic well-being. I've taken in billions and billions of dollars from China. No other president's done what I've done.
Remember that when we tariff China, it is our businesses that pay the tariffs when we import Chinese goods. Still, Trump doesn't seem to understand that.
Nobody's done that. We haven't taken in 10 cents from China ever. They targeted our farmers, and I targeted them. And I gave $28 billion to our farmers. Our farmers wouldn't be existent right now. Right now, they're very happy. In fact, they're setting records on purchases. China is purchasing more corn than they've ever done. Record purchase of corn and soybeans, beef, because they know I'm not happy with them. They know I'm not happy at all. And frankly, I don't want to set the world necessarily to thinking too much about it right now, but there's been no country anywhere at any time that's ripped us off like China has. We lose billions and billions of dollars for years and years, decades. We've lost billions and billions and billions of dollars by dealing with China. We get nothing from China. They get nothing other than loss, other than giving our money, and they take that money and they build their military, and you see they're building up a powerful military. And it's very lucky that I've been building ours up, because otherwise we'd be dwarfed right now by China. It would be a terrible thing, a terrible thing. We're way ahead on the nuclear front.
Remember, guys, troops who die are losers and suckers, but we need an even bigger military to be able to send more troops more places to die. Makes sense, huh?
But China's spending the money we give them to build up their military. So when you mention the word decouple, it's an interesting word. So we lose billions of dollars, and if we didn't do business with them, we wouldn't lose billions of dollars. It's called decoupling, so you'll start thinking about it. You'll start thinking. They take our money and they spend it on building airplanes and building ships and building rockets and missiles. And Biden has been just a pawn for them. He's been so easy. They dream about Biden. There was a report today that they hope that Joe Biden becomes president. If Joe Biden becomes president, China will own the United States, and every other country will be smiling also. They'll be smiling. When reports come out that certain countries don't really like me too much, that's not because of my personality, although it could be that also, frankly. Right. It's because of the fact that I've been very tough on countries that have been ripping us off for so many years. No. If you look at NATO, with the exception of 8 countries, we're one of them. Every country is way behind. They're delinquent, especially Germany, in paying their NATO bills. That means we end up paying it, and we're not doing it. I told him, we're not doing it.
He sounds extra like a mob boss today. I don't know what it is.
$130 billion going up to $400 billion a year. It's all because of me. Then you hear the country doesn't like me. I mean, I can understand that, because President Obama and other presidents, in all fairness, would go in there and they'd make a speech and they'd leave. I went in there, I looked, and I said, this is unfair. We're paying for NATO. We're paying for NATO, almost all of it. So they rip us off.
Almost all of it. Oh, my God. Some connection to reality, please.
And Biden doesn't have a clue. You know he doesn't have a clue.
Biden.
Everybody knows he doesn't have a clue. In prime time, he wasn't good. And now it's not prime time.
Let's watch the debates.
He spent 47 years sending American jobs to China, to Mexico, and to other countries while collecting millions of dollars in campaign and super PAC contributions from global corporations that got rich by making American workers poor. His son, where's Hunter? Where's Hunter? I call him Where's Hunter. Walked away with $1.5 billion to manage, even though he never did that before. He walked away with a fortune from Ukraine, from China, and from other countries.
Here we go.
Between his son and his brother. You ought to read the statements. And the press doesn't pick that up. If I ever did that,
His brother.
it would be hell, even worse than it's been. Okay? Even worse than it's been. What he's done is so incredible. I won't give them the $1 billion, he says. I won't give them unless they get rid of that prosecutor.
Never
And
happened.
then voila, they got rid of the prosecutor. And the press doesn't even want to talk about it. You talk about quid pro quo. With me, there was none. With him, he's right on tape, and you don't want to cover it. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
That's the new thing, attacking the media, telling the media they should be ashamed.
Shipped away our jobs.
Sick. Just this, they now like he got that from Richard Grinnell last week, who showed up and told the press they should be ashamed of themselves. Now Trump has done it twice.
Are. The top people in the Pentagon probably aren't, because they want to do nothing but fight wars so that all of those wonderful companies that make the bombs and make the planes and make everything else stay happy. But we're getting out of the endless wars. You know how we're doing.
Yikes.
We defeated 100% of the ISIS caliphate, 100%. When I came in, it was a mess. It was all over. They have it in a certain color, all ISIS. A year later, I said, where is it? It's all gone, sir. Because of you, it's all gone. Because of my philosophy, but
Sir.
all gone. I said, that's good. Let's bring our soldiers back home. Some people don't like to come home. Some people like to continue to spend money. One cold-hearted globalist betrayal after another, and that's what it was.
This is
Biden
really bad.
supported NAFTA. He supported China's entry into the World Trade Organization. Two disasters, the most disastrous trade deals in history, both of them. I can't tell you which was worse. They were both terrible. And as you know, I ended it, and I ended NAFTA. And we're looking at the World Trade Organization. They've become much better, I will say that. World Health I got out of, because we're spending $500 million. China was spending $38 million, and China controlled it.
If Trump resigned right now, I would really respect him.
Very nice to us lately, I will say that, amazingly. We never used to win anything at the World Trade. We'd lose every case. Now all of a sudden we're winning a lot of cases. We just won $7 billion as a case. And they're talking to us much differently than they used to. Because if they don't shape up, we're going to ship out, that's all. We're not treated fairly. China is treated as a developing nation. Developing nation. We're treated as a nation that's fully developed. We're not fully developed as far as I'm concerned. When you look around at Portland and you see what these Democrats are doing to our city, take a look at what's happening in New York.
This is it's a verbal ink blot, guy. It's a Rorschach. China, WTO, Portland, developing. It's a mess. Joe Biden.
Badly, and mayors running cities so badly. It's very sad to look at it. It's Democrat run. Every one of them that I see. I guess we could probably find one or two that aren't, but so far I haven't been able to. If you look at Biden, he supported TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would have been a disaster, would have destroyed our.
Whoa. The White House feed just went dead. I guess we'll switch to another one. This is weird.
Paris Climate Accord that he'll
Oh my
come
God,
back
the
and
audio.
It sounds wonderful. It's a disaster for this country. They basically taken away your wealth, the Paris Climate Accord. And the other countries don't have to adhere to it. China doesn't kick in until 2030. They don't have to do anything until 2030. We had very high standards. We would have had it closed under some scenarios.
White House feed is dead.
25% of our businesses in order to qualify under this ridiculous Paris Climate Accord. Sounds good. It was very bad, very expensive. The New York Times has just published an entire story on Biden's China sellouts, which is amazing for the New York Times. I appreciate that. In 2001, Biden said the United States welcomes the emergence of a prosperous
Let's try this other one, see if the audio's better.
trade organization. One of the reasons it's so bad is that China didn't play by the rules. We did, but their rules were easier because they're considered a developing nation. So they had a much lower standard. But even that, they didn't play by the rules. That's when they became a rocket ship. They were flatlined for years and years and years. Then they joined the World Trade Organization. And frankly, they cheated.
I'll keep checking the other one.
I'll say it. What difference is it? I feel much differently. I feel I've made a great trade deal with China. Great. And they're buying. You know why they're buying? Because they know I'm not happy. That's why they're buying. And I talk about it because today is Labor Day. And it's a good time to talk about when we're being ripped off by countries, but nobody's even close to China. Biden cheered China's rise as a great power because great powers adhere to international norms in the areas of non-proliferation, human rights, and trade. Well, they didn't. They took advantage of stupid people. Stupid people. And Biden's a stupid person. You know that. You're not going to write it. But you know that.
Biden's stupid.
The cost of Biden's economic treachery was 60,000 shuttered American factories, and I hear this morning the real number is probably 70,000. 70,000 shuttered American factories, and he's talking about how wonderful it is with China. Now, China's been very bad, on top of which we had the China plague sent to us, and other viruses, nothing near this serious, but the swine. We had other viruses sent in over the years that came from China. I wonder why. If Biden wins, China wins, because China will own this country. If Biden wins, China will own this country, and hopefully you're not going to be able to find that out. It's the most important election in our history, right now. Most important election in our history. Under my administration, we will make...
This is particularly pointless today, right? I mean, it's always meandering, but it's extra weird.
And for all, whether it's decoupling or putting in massive tariffs like I've been doing already, we're going to end our reliance on China, because we can't rely on China. And I don't want them building a military like they're building right now. They're using our money to build it. We'll manufacture our critical medical supplies in the United States. We'll create Made in America tax credits and bring our jobs back from China to the United States, and we'll impose tariffs on companies that desert America to create jobs in China and other countries. If they can't do it here, then let them pay a big tax to build it someplace else and send it into our country. We'll prohibit federal contracts from companies that outsource to China, and we'll hold China accountable for allowing the virus to spread around the world. Now you can understand why China would much rather see Sleepy Joe than Donald Trump. But as long as I'm president, we will never waver in our undying loyalty to the American worker and to our country as a whole. So, happy Labor Day, everybody. Yeah.
Here we go.
The issue of what happened when you were in France continues to be.
You're going to have to take that off, please.
This audio is a disaster.
Take it off.
He's calling for the
how many feet
masks
are
to
you
come
away?
off now.
Well, if you don't take it off, you're very muffled. So if you would take it off, it would be a lot easier.
I'll just speak a lot louder. Is that better?
It's better, yeah. It's better.
Mr.
He
President,
hates masks.
some people are having a hard time believing your denial of the Atlantic story because of what you said about John McCain in the past. Do you understand that? And have you asked John
No, I don't
Kelly-
understand
And have you asked John Kelly to refute that story?
No, I don't understand it at all, no, because I've always been on the opposite side of John McCain. John McCain liked wars. I will be a better warrior than anybody, but when we fight a war, we're going to win them. And frankly, I was never a fan of John McCain. You know that. It's been very obvious. But I had to approve his entire funeral. I wanted him to get. He deserved a first class. You know, it all was approved by me.
Trump
We sent
approved
Air
his
Force One
funeral.
to pick up the casket, a lot of things. But no, I was not a fan of John McCain because he wanted the endless wars. And I didn't. I thought that the way the vets were taken care of, our great vets, was not good, not appropriate. And of course, he took the fake dirty dossier and gave it over to the FBI. So this is not somebody I'm not supposed to say, what a wonderful guy. So, you know what? I lived with him. He lived with me, but we had different philosophies. I think my philosophy is right. I think it's turned out to be right. But I wasn't a fan. But I respect people.
Remember, he called McCain a loser and said he prefers people who don't get captured.
I necessarily have to agree with him, and I didn't agree with him on a lot of things. The story is a hoax written by a guy who's got a tremendously bad history. The magazine itself, which I don't read, but I hear it's just totally anti-Trump. He's a big Obama person. He's a big Clinton person.
There's hoax
and
number
he made
one.
up the story. It's a totally made-up story. In fact, I was very happy to see Zach Fuentes came out and said now I think that's number 15. And these are people that were there. That's the 15th person, General Kellogg. Everybody that was there
Kellogg
knew what happened. And so I was happy to see that Zach came out and said it's not true. It just came out. And it's a disgrace. Who would say a thing like that? Only an animal would say a thing like that.
He's an animal.
There's nobody that has more respect for not only our military, but for people that gave their lives in the military. There's nobody, and I think John Kelly knows that. I think he would know that. I think he knows that from me. But Zach Fuentes says, worked for John. And I think they both know that. But Zach came out, as you know, today or yesterday, last night, and said very strongly that he didn't hear anything like that. Even John Bolton came out and said that was untrue. Now, what was true is that we had the worst weather.
Right.
I think it was as bad a rain as I've just about ever seen. And it was a fog. You literally couldn't see. I walked out. I didn't need somebody to tell me. I walked out. I said, "There's no way we can take helicopters in this. I understand helicopters very well."
Trump's a pilot.
And they said, "No, sir, that's been canceled." They would have had to go. Secret Service. I have the whole list. They would have had to go through a very, very busy section during the day of Paris. They would have had to go through the city. The Paris police were asking us, please don't do it, because they're not ready. When you do that, you need a lot of time. They take days and days and days to prepare for that. I wanted to do it very badly. I was willing to sit in the car for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I didn't care. It didn't matter. And I had nothing else to do. I went there for that. I had nothing
He
else.
just sat around watching Fox at the embassy.
Because of the terrible weather, and nobody was prepared to go through, in terms of Paris, the police, the military, and the Secret Service, and they came out very strongly and said, "Sir, we can't allow you to make this trip. If I wanted to, sir, we can't allow you from a safety standpoint."
They wouldn't let him.
It was a phony story, just like the dirty dossier, the fake dirty dossier, just like the Russia collusion, just like all of the other phony stories. And there'll be more phony stories. But I do appreciate Zach coming out. But Zach now is the 15th person that's denied it. Zach now, I think, also talked about the weather aspect of it. And he's probably the 14th or 15th person that...
Remember, the story's been quadruply corroborated. I know you guys know that.
Thank you.
The audio.
Most recently in Detroit, limit police ability to use non-lethal force. My first question would be, should the police be allowed to use non-lethal force to quell the violence in their city?
We're talking about where non-lethal force?
Right, so in the riot, most recently.
The riots?
Yeah.
Well, I think what's happened is the toughness. These are Democrat-run cities all, and there's no retribution. They stand there, they throw things at the people that are supposed to be protecting something, and nothing happens. They throw rocks, they throw cans of soup, they throw
cans of
lots
soup,
of hard objects,
bags of soup.
Rarely does anything happen. But I've told, when we have the federal in there, as you
Trump is the most anti-chowder president we've ever had.
Killed another man, and they know who it was, and you have to arrest him. You have to arrest him. After 2.5 days, they didn't arrest him. The U.S. Marshals went in, and it ended up being a gunfight, and the man was killed. But this is a man that had a bad record, and there's a man that killed a man in the street. I mean, I witnessed it. Most people witnessed it. And the U.S. Marshals went in. They weren't playing games. They can't play games. If somebody is breaking the law, there's got to be a form of retribution. I watch so often when I watch some of the areas that we're talking about. Now we have Rochester. That's, again, Democrat governor, Democrat mayor, all Democrats, every one of them. And it always will be. I was with the governor of Texas. He looked at me and said, I can't imagine how they allow this to happen. And, it's different. It's different. I could talk about other governors saying the same thing. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Follow up on that. We're also hearing reports of groups like
Is this OAN question?
Do we expect to see prosecution and charges
Yeah.
in the Department of Justice for those traveling for that purpose?
So we have now over 1,000 people, federal, in jail. We're prosecuting many people. A big thing was when I signed the law putting people in jail if you knock down monuments. That was 3 months ago. There hasn't been a federal monument knocked down in 3 months or even thought about. I don't think they've even thought about it. So that's had a very big impact.
It's like the audio's a disaster. There's sirens in the background. It's what is going on?
Those people up there, they take nice pictures of everybody, so we don't even have to bother. We can use the news photos. We had a photo right over there of Andrew Jackson, the monument. He was getting ready, and this guy was a big, brave guy, and he was up like this, and he was showing off to all his friends, and he got arrested. So did a lot of other people get arrested, and I would say we have the ultimate proof. Now, in that case, we got there before they ripped down the statue of Andrew Jackson, which is so beautiful, which is right over there. But they never got it. But right after that, I signed an order saying you go to prison for 10 years. And as soon as I signed that order, that was the end of the statues coming down. But they have other ideas. They've got plenty of ideas. They're not at want for ideas. Please, go ahead.
Mr. Spun, David Spun from Fox News. Mr. President, thank you for taking my question. Sir, you talked a lot about the economy and touted the economy. 3 weeks ago in Bedminster, I asked you specifically why you have not called Democratic leadership to the White House to meet with them. If they don't want to meet, it's on them. A lot of people are criticizing you. I cover you on the weekends and stuff.
I don't think they are.
Why have you not met with them in person? I mean, we're in September. There's no deal. There's no hope of a deal. We're 2 months out from the election.
Don't say there's no hope. Why do you say there's no hope?
What
do you know?
What can you say?
What do you know?
It doesn't seem like.
And let me just tell you, I know my customers. That's what I do. I know Pelosi. I know Schumer very well. They don't want to make a deal because they think it's good for politics if they don't make a deal. This has nothing to do with anything other than you have to know who you're dealing with. I do. These are people that I don't have a lot of respect. I don't think they have a lot of respect for the American people.
Who does he respect?
I'm dealing with. And I don't need to meet with them to be turned down. They don't want to make a deal because they know that's good for the economy. And if they make a deal that's good for the economy, and therefore it's good for me for the election in November 3rd, and therefore they're not going to make a deal. Now, if we gave the store away, if we bailed out all of their Democrat-run cities where we give them $1 trillion, which is the kind of money they want $1 trillion to bail out badly run Democrat cities and states, whether it's New York or Illinois or others, they want to bail them out. And we're saying, well, we're not going to pay that kind of a price.
We're going to try a different feed real quick that's been recommended to me. Maybe we have better audio. I would love it if we did.
We're saying, well, we're not going to pay that kind of a price in order to bail the cities.
Nice.
We'll do something to help cities, but that's going to have to rest on its own. And why didn't you do this at the beginning? Because they could have done it at the beginning. So I know who I'm dealing with. And I'm on the phone with Mnuchin and with Meadows and with all of these people constantly, while they're there. But I also know when it's time to meet with people. I've done very well with deals, okay? That's what I do. And I know when it's time to meet. But I don't have to meet them in order to be turned down and in order for them to walk out to the sticks, which is the microphones, and give you people a false report of what just took place in the Oval Office. So they don't want to make a deal because they think that if the country does as badly as possible, even though a lot of people are being hurt, that's good for the Democrats. But, David, that's a bad thing. Yeah, please go ahead.
But as president, shouldn't you take the high road, sir?
I am taking the high road. I'm taking the high road by not seeing them.
Like when he called Biden stupid 5 minutes ago.
Thank you, Mr. President. David
And if I
Jackson.
thought it made a difference or would make a difference, I'd do it in a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, David Jackson, USA Today. My question is about the Durham report, which you have talked about recently. You said, let's see what happens. Now, you've accused people of committing crimes against you during the Russian investigation.
Yeah,
President
sure.
Obama,
They spied on my campaign. That's right.
My question,
They spied on my campaign, and if they were Democrats, they would have been in jail 2 years ago. They would have been in jail, literally. If this side were the Democrat side, they would have been in jail 2 years ago for 50-year terms for treason and other things.
my question is, do you want the Justice Department to indict people over this?
I'm not going to say that. I have to see the report. I haven't seen it. I don't know if that was a good thing, smart thing. I don't know. But nobody can complain about it. I have every right to have been very much involved. And maybe someday I'll get involved in it. They spied on my campaign, and that includes Biden and Obama. They spied on my campaign trying to defeat me. They wrote up a fake dossier that has proven to be totally fake, written
72-hour psych hold necessary.
by Clinton and the Democrats, and they used that illegally in the FISA courts. If we did what they did, you would have many people in jail right now, and you have, other than the one agent that admitted his guilt, that he forged documents, we don't have that yet. But the report hasn't been issued yet. Let's see what happens. But let me just say something. President Obama and Biden, Sleepy Joe, he knew everything that was happening. They were spying on my campaign and they got caught. Now let's see what happens. But if this were the opposite way, people would have been jailed. They would have been in jail already for a period of at least, it would have started 2 years ago, and it would.
If we reelect this, we deserve really bad things to happen to us. I mean, if we're that stupid.
Then they created, at tremendous expense, the money they paid is tremendous. I'm sure you know the money that was paid, millions of dollars. They created a fake dossier, proven to be now fake. Everyone, and they used it in the FISA courts.
FISA courts.
That's a crime. So far, I haven't seen anybody have a problem, but the report hasn't been issued yet. Let's see what happens with the Durham report. But this started at Obama. And some people would say, and some people, well, but he was the president, like, let's leave him alone. If it were me, they wouldn't be leaving me alone, I can tell you. It's a totally double standard, and it's a disgrace. And if I were a Republican senator, and if I were a Republican congressman, and we have some great ones, but we have a lot of them that don't fight the way that the other side fights. We have much better policy. We have much better things going for us, like borders and walls and immigration.
Walls.
And no sanctuary cities. And they have a lot of bad stuff going.
He's unhinged.
But they're dirty fighters. And the dirtiest fight of all is the issuance of 80 million ballots. Unrequested. They're not requested. They're just sending 80 million ballots all over the country.
Here we go.
80 million ballots, non-requested. I call them unsolicited ballots. That's going to be the dirtiest fight of all. People are going to get ballots. They're going to say, what am I doing? And then they're going to harvest. They're going to do all the things. And if you look at the last
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
months, take a look at the races where they've sent ballots out. Take a look at Carolyn Maloney, whose race should be redone because she won that race totally unfairly to her opponent. Her opponent did very well against her.
Right.
That race should be rerun. But they declared her the winner because they heard I found out about it. But take a look at what's happened in New Jersey and in Virginia and different places.
Virginia.
It's a disgrace. That'll be a beauty. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. If proven true, are you okay with Postmaster General DeJoy and the fact that he asked former employees at his private company to make donations to the GOP and then reimburse them? Are you okay with that?
I don't know too much about it.
It's
I read
illegal.
something this morning, but
It's
I
a
don't.
crime.
Other than that, I'd have to see it.
It's a crime.
He's a very respected man. He was approved very much by both parties, I guess. It
It's a
was
crime,
sort of an approval that took place by both parties. I don't know exactly what the story is. I'll certainly know within a short period of time.
Yeah.
I just read it for the first time. I read it this morning.
Maybe
just
tomorrow
like
you could talk
Do you
about it.
support an investigation, sir?
Sure.
And
I think let the investigations go, but he's a very respected man. Again, it was a bipartisan commission. Postmaster General is appointed by a bipartisan commission, and we'll see how that goes. But no, I think he's a very honest guy, but we'll see.
Yeah, honest.
Thank you, Mr.
President.
Mr. President,
Go ahead, please.
follow up, please, if you don't mind. If it's proven to be a campaign finance scheme, do you think he should lose his job?
Yeah, if something can be proven that he did something wrong, always.
Thank you.
Always. They've been looking at me for 4 years. They found nothing.
Looking at me for
4
4
years. Think of it. For 4 years. From the day I came down the escalator, I've been under investigation by sleaze. And they found nothing. They found nothing. A friend of mine said, you have to be the most innocent, honorable man ever to hold the office of president. Think of it. They spent just Mueller alone. He spent, I guess the real number turned out to be $48 million, but whatever it was, many, many millions of dollars.
Yeah, it recovered more money than it cost, remember, guys.
Democrats looking, they had FBI agents all over the place. They had and they have no collusion. Friends of mine have said, sophisticated friends have said, you've got to be the most innocent guy ever to hold this office. And there's a lot of truth to that. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. After Navalny poisoning, Chancellor Angela Merkel of Germany is under pressure to to cancel Nord Stream 2 pipeline from Russia to Germany. Would you support such a move? Do you think the project should be canceled?
Sure. Well, I've been supportive of that. I was
No one's been tougher on Russia than him.
of Nord Stream 2 until Trump came along. When I came along, I said, wait a minute, we're protecting Germany from Russia, right? NATO. We're protecting Germany from Russia. Germany's paying Russia billions and billions of dollars to get their energy, and the real number is probably 60 to 70% ultimately of their energy is going to come from Russia. And I said this for years that nobody talks about it. One of the many things between sanctions and all of what we've done for Ukraine relative to what the past had. They used to send pillars and we sent tank busters.
Pillars?
But I brought that up a long time ago. Russia's unhappy that I brought it up. But you never heard of Nord Stream 2. Nobody did until I got elected. And I said, why is Germany making a deal to give billions of dollars to Russia, and then we're protecting Germany from Russia? How does that work? And then on top of it, Germany is delinquent because they're only paying a little more than 1%, and they're supposed to be paying 2%, and even the 2%.
Remember, the question was about a pipeline.
Just remember, Trump, me, I got the countries of NATO to spend $130 billion going to $400 billion a year. Think of it, $400 billion a year more for NATO. And the purpose of NATO primarily is Europe protection against Russia. Now they can use it for other, I guess, and they have a little bit in the Middle East, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm the one that did that.
Anybody know what he's talking about?
But nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about Nord Stream 2. The answer is absolutely if they feel that something happens. But I don't know that Germany's in a position right now because Germany's in a very weakened position energy-wise. They're closing all their plants. They're closing their nuclear. They're closing their coal. They're closing a lot of plants. And they have put themselves in a very bad position, frankly. Very, very bad position. Yeah, please.
Can I follow up on Jeff Mason's question? Have you asked John Kelly to publicly refute the Atlantic? And then can I ask something?
No, I have nothing against John. I have nothing against anybody. No, I was very heartened to see that a friend of his, because I know Zach is a friend of his and worked for him.
Zach, a guy.
I was very heartened to see that Zach Fuentes came out with the statement that he did, I guess, late last night, that it was not true.
Another question to the topic, Mr. President. Mr. President, what exactly is un-American about federal government training programs that are aimed at improving inclusivity?
Well, we're going to do a report. Yeah, I fired those people. They're all gone. And it was a disgrace, frankly.
Oh, my God.
And we're going to give you a big report that's going to make you very happy. All
Very
right, yeah,
soon.
please.
Thank you. Darlene Superville, AP. You said a moment ago, they'll say anything. You were talking about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their comments about the vaccine. You have a...
No, they say worse. They say negative. They say negative. They're
Well,
going
let her get the question out.
into a negative so that when we have it, and I spoke to the head of Pfizer, I spoke to the head of Johnson & Johnson, I spoke to the head of the greatest...
I noticed Trump pronounces Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company, and FISA, like FISA exactly the same way.
They're saying is, oh, wow, this is bad news. President Trump is getting this vaccine in record time. By the way, if this were the Obama administration, you wouldn't have that vaccine for 3 years, and you probably wouldn't have it at all. So we're going to have a vaccine very soon.
Could she ask the question, though?
Very special date. You know what date I'm talking about. But let me just tell you, wait. And what they're doing, because they think it is going fast, and if you talk to a lot of your sources, if you have sources, if you talk to your sources in the FDA, you'll see it's going very, very well.
Their sources both don't exist and are lying.
Strong, unbelievably good. So now they're saying, wow, Trump's pulled this off. Okay, let's disparage the vaccine. That's so bad for this country. That's so bad for the world to even say that. And that's what they're saying it. But I watched Kamala's poll numbers drop from 15 to almost 0 and then drop out even before she ran in Iowa because people didn't like her. And I understand why. She will never be president, although I have to be careful because Obama used to say that about me, so I have to be a little bit careful.
Right.
But you have to look at her a little bit more closely because obviously...
Soon she's going to be allowed to ask the question.
So you're going to have to look at her a little bit too closely. But
Oh, no, he's
she's
gonna move
talking
on.
about disparaging a vaccine. so that people don't think the achievement was a great achievement. I don't want the achievement for myself. I want something that's going to make people better, that people aren't going to get sick with. That includes therapeutics, where we're doing equally as well. Therapeutics. Go ahead.
Your point is that what they're saying is that they're saying it for political purposes.
Yes.
You have asserted repeatedly that a vaccine will be on the market before the election.
No, I didn't say they will. I said by the end of the year. No, but you're not quoting me accurately.
He keeps moving it up.
I said that vaccines will be on the market before the end of the year.
He has said 10 different things, so that it's just like a pick your own adventure.
Be developed and fully developed, tested, everything else. You know, we have 30,000 people in just one vaccine right now under test in very, very highly infected areas. So we're going to be able to get a good result one way or the other very soon. So I didn't say what you said. What I said is by the end of the year, but I think it could even be sooner than that.
He just said a few days ago by October.
Actually, could be before November.
Are you also saying that for political reasons?
No, I'm saying that because we want to save a lot of lives. With me, it's the faster the better.
He just said it again.
With somebody else, maybe they would say it politically, but I'm saying it in terms of this is what we need.
Wow.
We have to have, if we get the vaccine early, that's a great thing, whether it's politics or not. Now, do benefits inure if you're able to get something years ahead of schedule? I guess maybe they do. But the most important thing to me is saving lives. It's the most important thing. Yeah, go ahead in the back.
Hi. Just based on some of your recent tweets, sir, do you...
You sound so clear as opposed to everybody else where they refuse.
He's mad that other reporters are wearing masks.
Why do you object to that being taught in schools? And do you object to slavery itself being taught in schools?
Yeah, so no, I want everybody to know everything they can about our history. I'm not a believer in cancel culture, the good or the bad. If you don't study the bad, it could happen again. So I do want that subject studied very, very carefully and very accurately.
Strongly.
But we grew up with a certain history, and now they're trying to change our history, revisionist history. That's why they want to take down our monuments. That's why they want to take down our statues. I saw something the other day which was absolutely horrendous. Washington Monument, they want to rename it. The D.C. committee, but the D.C. committee is all Democrats. Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. I mean, we're talking about, this is the big stuff now. This is the big stuff. And they want to rename it. They want to redesignate it. They want to take some down. No, we don't do that. Never going to happen with me, I guarantee you that.
Wasn't even the question.
Well, I want to thank you all, and I just want to wish you a very happy Labor Day, and we're having tremendous success, whether it's on the vaccines, whether it's on the pandemic.
Pfizer.
The plague that came in from China that China should have never let happen, because I will never feel the same about China. And I just want to, again, wish you a happy Labor Day. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody. You should be ashamed of yourselves, as very frequently is said. What an event. What an event. I'm so glad to have been able to share that beautiful moment with about 25,000 of you. If you are heading out, particularly on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. You'll be notified when I go live in the future. And I would much prefer you watch these with me in our community rather than, on the Trump page or whatever. So please hit that subscribe button on the way out. We are so close. We are now only 11,900 from 1 million subscribers. And as people are heading out, we will, of course, give you one more look at the new Plasma Lo-Fi song. I will be back streaming soon. Take a listen to this, my friends.
Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. Convalescent, strong antibodies from the blood of recovered patients to help treat patients battling a current infection. Convalescent is the only possible, and it's only made possible because of Operation Convalescent. Today, I'm pleased to make a truly historic announcement in our battle against the China virus that will save countless lives. We provided $48 million to fund the Mayo Clinic study that tested the efficacy of convalescent plasma. The virus. Convalescent plasma. This is the